Hello, my name is Scuria-Herman, and today I'll be checking out the song Cycles to Gehenna, which was a suggestion by JP Industry. Now, with a name like Gehenna, much like Pigeonometry, for some reason that's my most popular video. If you want to go look at that and then see how I pronounce Pigeonometry at first, you can tell that the first time I see new words, I am not that good at pronouncing them. So let me look up, before I look up the song, let me look up what Gehenna is, like I did with Kotokushi. A place, a state of misery. I mean, I was told that it would be a 180-degree tone shift. So, yeah. So apparently Gehenna is Jewish hell. I feel like that's something I should have known. But yeah, I have been warned. Very big tone shift from what we've been seeing. Oh, there's a video too. From Noisy. I feel like I said that in the most... That's the most New Yorker I got. Noisy. It's from Noisy? I don't know why. Alright. I mean, I have said before, I like the videos, it's just I get distracted by them often. But I think that it's been a bit since I saw a video. Even though I'm pretty sure the last one was a video. Be that as it may, I'm gonna do a video. I will say, his music videos, I know, I should be pausing this early, I'm sorry. But I do want to comment just first impression immediately. His music videos are very striking. He uses a lot of striking visuals, like if you remember Rings. A lot of striking visuals and now like immediately going right into it. And then you see here immediately I forget what it's called, but the cinematic format where like the top and bottom are right there, and then like this the extreme close-up of the that's undilated. I always confuse dilated and undilated. I think it's undilated eye.
Face masking, pork shelled ebony propeller hat, clubbins, glove breaks, grapple and a clutch span. Tuck with a steel toe, metal gate spreading for the dead alive that ran in parking space 37.
You can probably tell I was just transfixed. I'm trying to figure out the plot here, right? We had this whole lead up where you know, we see these people getting ready to leave, and they're doing all this, like, it's obviously a very gothic sort of fashion, which would be like, you know, death obsessed, I guess. I'm sort of, my question right now is who the figures in the helmet are, because we see them walking with them. My theory as of now is sort of like a specter of death, just because there is no like visual and is no like humanity or relatability, just because of the de-individuation there. But let me actually listen to the lyrics. Base heads locally approach all spark plugs, total disregard for a dying man's shark jump. Obviously, like jumping the shark when something goes too far past the point of believability or enjoyability. Post meridian, pretty tungsten the tracks, any once pale horse painted gunmetal black. Face masking, hard-shelled ebony propeller hat, clubmen's gloved rakes grappling the clutch span, tuck go the steel toe, metal gate spreading for the dead alive that rented parking space 37. In like treading on death. This is very much leading up to what we're about to see. As of now, it's hard to really like place like what each thing means. I think I want to see the whole before I look at the parts for this, but I am sort of getting the vibe from the video, from the lyrics. I'm putting it together from Noisy.
2,000 out the weekly under cycles to Gehenna, gets him floating over 20 buses, fireproof and festive. Corners like a too-tired tiger, so a too-tired rider can accumulate a few excited fibers to a sign. Knows no zen in the art of maintenance, only as the orchestrated patron saint of changing lanes, baby. Here's how a great escape goes when you can't take your dead friends' names out your phone.
I'm really just transfixed trying to figure this out in my head before like it obviously gets there, which historically never works out in these videos. 2000 out the weekly under cycles to Gehenna. I'm trying to get a sense if that is like an Anno Domini sort of thing, like, you know, Common Era. I'm not sure. Gets him floating over 20 buses, fireproof and festive, like a 2-tired tiger, so a 2-tired rider. Can accumulate a few excited fibers to assign, knows no zen in the art of maintenance, only as the orchestrated patron saint of changing lanes, baby. Here is how a great escape goes when you can't take your dead friends' names out your phone. So yeah, obviously, especially with that last line, sort of dealing with death. Right now, they sort of haven't really tread on the land of death. And as you see in this video, you can see that these people are going somewhere, and they obviously have like deathly vibes about them, but they haven't reached anywhere yet. And the sort of style that they're wearing is very like club scene, I would say. So it feels like they're going on a trip for fun to a club, and that club is death.
Eyes and teeth, new moon on a scale that defies belief. Outside what our fundamental sciences teach. Every other mighty lion asleep. Gangway, mind, eyes, mind, teeth.
Eyes and teeth, new moon on a scale that defies belief. Outside what our fundamental sciences teach. Every other mighty lion asleep. Gangway, mine, eyes, mine, teeth. I guess this is the point where they are crossing the boundary from this treading on deathly topics and feeling these like deathly feelings to treading on deathly land. That's sort of what I'm getting here. Where it's new moon on a scale that defies belief, outside what our fundamental sciences teach, every other mighty lion asleep. So, a realm that exists outside of modern knowability.
Gangway, mine, eyes, mine, teeth. The man-ape translates glam through the visor. Goes in water lilies, amps, grace, Geiger, and Man Ray. Crammed in a one-player campaign. Blinker like a hallowed bonfire over Sam Hain. Span with a praying hands mandate. Bars an extension of the arms. They're mutating instead of being farmed. Tonight beneath the marmalade Venus.
These verses are flying by. I feel like I'm pausing a lot. But, yeah. The man-ape, let me go over here. The man-ape translates glam through the visor, goes in water lilies, Amscray's Geiger, and Man Ray crammed in a one-player campaign. Blinker like a hollowed bonfire over Sam Hain. Span where the praying hands mandate, bars an extension of the arms. They're mutating instead of being farmed. Now, I think I recognize Sam Hain from something. Samhain is a pagan holiday. A hallowed bonfire over Samhain. I feel like hallowed has a lot to do with organized religion. So hallowed bonfire over Samhain is very contradictory. So it's sort of going into this land where we're looking at Gehenna and this land of death instead of looking as like part of the system. It is opposed to the system, and that is how it's part of the system.
Between us, going for Jag Dotson, Corvette Lotus, full combs you can slalom when your Zorlax focused. Via mechanical Dartmoor, Frankenstein poorly, and sanctioned by a new Yank Yorkie who knew that any moment he could lose it to the decoupage of suicide flooring and still he keep his fuel tank portly. The 30-odd-year-old gear stank Charlie, the scarf dank mom's new hobby, copy, eyes.
Tonight beneath a marmalade Venus, which is a very cool descriptor. Haunted mowers chewing every glowing yard of mud between us. Going forward, Jag, Datsun, Corvette, Lotus. All cones you can slalom with your Zorlax focus. Let's look up some terms, shall we? Yeah, I thought they were all car brands, but the one I didn't really recognize was Datsun, so I had to look that up, and yeah, that's still a car. Slalom or slalom means skiing in a zigzag or wavy course between upright obstacles. I don't think I've heard that before. New word, you know. Zorlak. Zorlak is a skateboard. Okay. See, I'm putting it together. I'm not providing anything, but I'm putting it together. Via mechanical Dartmoor, Frankenstein, poorly. Dartmoor is, of course, as we all know, a national park. I doubt it's. I thought he's actually talking about. I mean, that's the only thing that comes up. Yeah, Dartmoor, Frankenstein, poorly, and sanctioned by a New York Yankee who knew that any moment he could lose it to the. I'm way out of my element. Decoupage. The art of decorating an object by gluing colored paper cutouts onto it in a combination of special paper bags, gold leaf, and other decorative elements. If we're looking, it's, so I guess like sort of like a collage with all these different materials. The decoupaged suicide flooring. And still he keep his fuel tank portly. The 30-odd-year-old gears thank Charlie. The scarf thank mom's new hobby. Copy. Okay. Sort of looking at this realm of... It's not undeath like we saw in Jumping Coffin or Kodakushi. It is way more death. And the state of death and the reaction to death. At least that's what I'm getting from it so far. Also, I didn't really mention anything musically yet because I get distracted by the video, but I do like hear how his voice is like layered, and it's like not like consistent, you know, sort of misaligned. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm tired.
Gangway, mine eyes, mine teeth.
It's a chord change.
The horse and Betty Borders hug a double yellow spine, knobby rubber like a rat on a rope. Those little whole city galvanized bikes, white knuckling, bright light tunnel kings tuck and the devil. P.S. I wrote this on a self-destructing memo.
Oh, I was so just ensconced. I don't think ensconced is the right word, but I just pulled in that I didn't even realize that 2 verses just flew by. Wow. Yeah, and I feel like, before I read the lyrics, it's sort of commenting on how death can quickly lead to self-destruction. And not even your own death, just someone else's death. Like the whole thing where he's like, you know, his contacts can't take your dead friends' names out of your phone. Yeah. And then they're sort of looking onward. He gets left behind. Alright. It was less of an act of hubris. Obviously, hubris usually has religious connotations of foolhardiness. More Lonely Hearts Club at the helm of a magic bullet. Away on a relentless bid for rarefied inertia. Rattletrap forks married to the patchy terra firma or some minor getting warmer. I crowbar into the pecking order. Sort of looking at this sort of, especially with pecking order, very much a hierarchy here. And that is the whole system. Sure, that's the word I was looking for. System of religion. Not systematicism. System of religion. Looking at these like hierarchies of prayer, of worth, of devotion. And looking at death as this escape. Which he does mention earlier. Not necessarily escape as in death, but escape in relation to death. Here's how a great escape goes when you can't take your dead friends' names at your phone. Alright. Acting a savage in the shadows of Rome. Obviously, a lot of religious connotation with Rome, but also a lot of like urban accomplishment. Urban and human accomplishment, I should specify. Traffic amassed against insufferable odds, and there's that urban and human accomplishment. Fashioning gallows out of plastic and bone, bringing the past archaic traditions up into modernity. I got the motor dome walls of death splintering under me. All city galvanized bikes, white knuckling, bright light tunnel king stuck in the devil. P.S. I wrote this on a self-destructing memo. Yeah, I don't even know if that clicked the first time I heard that when I read on the whole thing about self-destruction. But yeah, very cool. Let's look at the comments here. See how wrong I was in describing this. Yeah. I feel like it would have hit harder with me if I had friends to begin with, but it was very striking in a more sympathy way than an empathy way. I've owned Skeleton on CD for almost 10 years, and today I learned this song has a music video. R.I.P. to those trying to decipher Aesop's lyrics are coherent to his life's experiences, and those outside are hard-pressed to discover. I'm glad that I built my channel on doing exactly that. Not stressful at all. If this is the meaning of this song, I'm not gonna be mad, I'm just gonna be wow. And if everybody in the comments says this is the meaning of the song, if everybody down below is like, I can't believe you didn't get it. Obviously the motorcycle riders are just reflections of him, and it's just joy of riding a motorcycle, and there's nothing about death. Where did you get death from? It's about motorcycle and how much you like the motorcycle. I know this is an old comment, but it's just a forewarning to those who try to decrypt music. Music isn't fun if you try to strangle the confession out of it. I was just going to comment on that, but then I saw this, also an old comment, but I just had to say that you could not be further from the truth with this one. So I feel like both of these comments I see versions of in my comments a lot. And I think that when trying to deconstruct songs like this, it does sort of take away from it, because I feel like part of the enjoyment is listening to it and, you know, just taking it in. But I feel like at the same time, with this artist specifically, there's so much depth, and I feel like the only thing I have to offer as a creator is to discuss that depth. So I feel like if I'm looking at this and just not saying anything and just saying, wow, that was a good song, and then moving on, I don't think that that is worth even uploading. And then he says that you cannot be any further from the truth. So. He bought a motorcycle and crashed it because he couldn't let go after the death of his friends. I'm starting to think that the motorcycle thing is not a joke, and I feel dumb. Well. Wanna have your mind blown? The line acting a savage in the shadows of Rome, which incidentally is my favorite part, refers to roads. Since the protagonist of the song is actually a biker who lives wild and Rome invented roads as we know them, this line actually makes perfect sense. Gotta love Aesop. I did pick up a part of that with the whole Rome urban center and then traffic, which is the bringing it to the modernity. But at the same time, I didn't really get that the biker who is, you know, the protagonist of the song, and it's about how Aesop crashed a bike, and that's what the song is about. I may seem sort of like put out at the end of this video, but I just feel like I missed a lot, and it feels disappointing just for me as a creator to do that. So, also just not doing well mentally lately. So, but I wanted to get a video out because it's been weeks. But anyway, that's all from me. So until next time, adieu.